to enrich you, mind, body, and soul, right here on 246 BajanVibesRadio.com, 12 till 3 on a Sundays AM, 7 till 10 p.m., 8 till 11 Eastern Standard Time. Don't you miss it. Feeling lethargic? Feeling lazy?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you, Syed?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful. It's so good to see you.
It is good to see you guys too. You guys do too. You guys just keep getting younger. What's going on?
It's the Alchemic Mind.
But no, it's great. It's great seeing you guys after, I believe, 2 years. It's been a very long time.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be that long, but but here we are.
Yeah, it's so great to see you and to really experience your transformation, and this evening is such a great topic because we all go through different things in our lives, but it's how are we processing what is happening to us? And do we understand what is happening to us? Because many times we are going through these different phases of life and we do not understand what we are processing, And just to share a little story about my personal self, when I was going through my whole transformation, at first I did not understand what was happening to me. But I always remember when I fell to my knees and I said, I surrender.
Right.
And when I fell to my knees and I said, I surrender, I remember that morning when I went back into my house and I was led to read a scripture in the Bible with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I don't know, some people may know that story. Mm-hmm. The 3 guys that was in the furnace, that was being thrown into the furnace. And when I finished reading that scripture, then I understand that I gotta go through the fire in order to come out the gold. And the whole process of our lives is going through whatever you're going through at this point in time, you're going through the furnace, right? But you're not going to get burned. You're not going to get burned. You're going through this furnace. And when you come out, you're going to be a sparkling diamond. You're going to be a sparkling gold when you come out. When we look around, everything in our lives went through a process. Everything that you see in your life went through a process. So what makes us different? We got to go through the process as well. The simple diamond ring you're wearing, the simple piece of jewelry you're wearing, your phone, everything went through a process. And the process is really heavy process. So we have to look at these things in life and say to ourselves, if we want to transform ourselves, we gotta go through this process. But in going through the process, we gotta understand the process. We gotta understand what is happening in our lives at the moment. That is why journaling is so important. Because when you journal your thoughts, you journal your emotions, you understand exactly what is happening to you. Because it's nothing like putting things to pen and paper. It helps you now to do reflection on your life and say, you know what? I am going through this process. What can I do? Who can I reach out to? Some trusted individuals that you can reach out to, like a coach or a therapist, whatever works for you as an individual. But you got to reach out and you got to get the right kind of help if you cannot do it on your own, because it's a process. It's pressure. It's a lot of pressure that we got to go through in order to transform. And the transformation happens within our lives, not outside. But a lot of times we're looking for things to transform. When you transform the inside, then the outside starts to transform. That's the only way it's going to happen. It's not going to happen the other way around. Not the outside to the inside to the outside. So let's grab a notepad, grab a pen, and just sit with us this evening, because we're going to give you some real good pointers how you can really shine like a diamond. Lady J.
Wow, that was a real strong and powerful and profound opening, because when you talk about the power of writing, journaling, right? It's so important, because when you can write out your thought, it's going to be keep digital on our phone and we can write in our notes and stuff like that. But there is power in writing, because it's more expressive. You're writing with just the art of just writing it out with that level of emotion, a level of strength, and a level of power that comes with it. And then when you can look back, and as we learned one thing, our guest that we had on last week, Angela, she said, when you're writing the negative thoughts, write it in red. But when you're writing your positive thoughts and what you're hoping to achieve and you're thinking about, write it in blue ink, because some things comes with that. So when you spoke about writing, and when you look back at your journal a year from now, 6 months from now, and what was written, what accomplished, how you've chipped away at the negative, the layers of the negativity that you've been embodying for so long. And as you move to the level of, as we're talking about alchemic mind, and you move to the level of change and move to the level of transformation, that you no longer have these thoughts, because those thoughts doesn't belong to you, those negativeness that you've been carrying for with yourself, because it's a level of energy that comes along with our thoughts. So when you can move to the level of writing and writing all those things out, as we spoke about, and then you got to trust the process. You got to trust the process. You got to be strong enough. You got to be courageous enough. You got to have the level of tenacity and a way with it. But first of all, too, you got to believe in yourself, who you are. You got to practice self-love. Because if you don't practice self-love and believe in yourself, then who are you? Because you can't give love on an authentic level, right? And people would not able to receive, because you're going to do disservice to yourself and to the person who you're giving the love to. So when you can love yourself and love yourself strongly, right? Embody that for you. Then when that energy is exchanged for you loving someone else, that's power. There is power in that. It carries a different resonance with it. And when you talk about transformation, we have to move to the level of transformation. Motivation is always good. Get you all excited, right? Change is good because you start to see some movements. But where the ultimate is moving to the level of transformation that is lasting, because what you've done, you've chipped away at old patterns. You no longer is that person who you used to be, because most of all, you live in your higher self. You become new beginning. You start fresh, and you're living on a level of elevation. And then people can, when you move to the level of transformation and that become lasting, people get to experience the new you, who you are, your joy, your excitement. But as you rightfully spoke about, to attain all of that and the results for people to witness and see all of that, you got to go through that pressure. You got to change up a lot of things, right? You got to move away from your old patterns, and old patterns die very hard. So as you chip away from those old patterns that no longer serve you well, and you're moving and you evolve into something new, something bold, something sure of yourself, who you are, you know who you are, and you're walking in that power. Because when you step into a room and you step into places, the energy changes, because you've moved off, you chip away all those baggages, you handle that unforgiveness that you be carrying with you for so long. and you move with a level of peace. People could feel your presence when you step in a space. And it's a beautiful thing when you can step in a space and you can really change that energy because it's love, it's an energetic feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And people could feel that level of power. And then you can give the experience, whether it's a workshop, whether just a one-on-one conversation, because people never forget how you make them feel. And when you can do that, I think that is what the alchemy mind is, because you can deliver something great, something positive, something that's filled with so much joy. And not only that, a level of peace, because you're coming with peace. You clear away all of that baggage that you've been carrying with you, and you're showing up fully, authentic you. And people can feel that. So tonight, sit back and relax. If you might be going through something today, you might be going through a setback, you might be going through failures, you might just got rejected from something. Just know we're here tonight to tell you, or to whatever time you're looking at the show, remind you that all the setbacks, all the failures, all the no's is setting you up for a greater comeback, because life is redirecting you to something beautiful, something greater. And you will be able to see in a couple of months, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, something beautiful. And all the time, things might get quiet. But it's quiet because we're looking on the outside. But inside, something has been working. And something has been working for you. And you will be able to see that. Yes, the year being the 6 month, in June, you might be thinking things are not moving fast enough for me. Don't worry. Things
Can't
are
rush
happening.
it.
You can't rush the process, because the delivery is going to be so beautiful for you. And you're going to say to yourself, yes, it's worth the wait, because I've made a preparation. I'm strong enough. I'm fulfilled. And then I understand why it took so long. So you're not wasting time. You're just perfecting your craft. And believe in yourself and know that you got all greatness that lies within you. And so you're going to be getting ready for a beautiful delivery, whether it's next week, whether it's tomorrow, whenever the time is, because we believe in divine timing. And when divine timing occurs, just enjoy, celebrate, because you know you work hard to attain that. So sit back, relax, and thank you for everyone who joined our program, Bloom Again, and subscribing, and all the good things that we are doing, and subscribing to our magazine, buying our books, and because we live a life of service, and we're here to serve and to serve you and serve you well. So my name is Lady J. Thank you, Bilal, holistic health and wellness coach, and among the other things that we do. But tonight, sit back, relax, invite a friend to join us, because we got a great topic that we're talking about tonight, and is the alchemic mind. And you're going to want to say, what is that? What's the alchemic mind? And we got to call him a friend, someone who's special to us. We've known him over the years, and every time he appear on our show, and every time we have a conversation with him, it's always powerful, it's always transformative, it's always inspirational. So welcome him to our show. We welcome you to our show tonight, and enjoy the conversation with us. Participate in the chats.
Bilal, welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. It was great hearing about the positive aspects that you guys have, how you guys are in service. So you guys are essentially helping other people live their best life, and how you guys described that the divine timing could be any moment. It could be today, it could be right now, it could be tomorrow, it could be whenever. But I personally do think divine time is any time, as in it doesn't necessarily have to wait for tomorrow. It's the right now. Are you able to change things right now? Yes. And it only really truly depends on your mindset. If you have the mindset that, you know what, I can do this right now, you can. Because every moment or every second that we spend is another decision we make. And that decision changes everything. It changes the next 5 minutes. It could change the next 2 hours. What you say, how you behave, what you watch, to how you think about something, everything changes. We're never the same person every second, even though there's a lot of I think there's a lot of people who might be like, no, but that's not true. Maybe we might be different every day, but I think we're different every second because we're consuming more content than ever before. You know, if it was, let's say, back in the 90s or the early 2000s, okay, I'd be like, cool, it's one day at a time. You know, we have less access to YouTube, we have less access to different things. But because we have constant consumption of
Yes.
news and things and videos and viral content, music, movies, quotations, things people say, heartbreaks, even. You know what I mean? I mean, you'd be surprised. Some people have heartbreaks multiple times a day. But the point, it could be for several reasons. But the thing is,
Yeah.
having said that, like, you know, it's all about how you step up and you kind of walk past it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what you're experiencing. What you're experiencing is natural. That's just how the world is. That's just how the universe is going to be. But how we interpret it and how we stand up and we react to it face on, like head on, that's what matters. So I think it was great that you guys mentioned about divine timing, and also the fact that, you know, it's not like life changing doesn't have to necessarily be a long process. For some, it may be longer than others, right? Of
Mhm.
course, people have traumas, people have, you know, history, people have certain upbringing, people have certain culture, or, you know,
Cultures.
certain,
Right.
you know, it could be language. But at the end of the day, how you interpret, how it really is up to you on how quickly you're able to transform your own life. Now, I'm a prime example, and particularly because of Lady K and Lady J, that I have had my transformation. And it's not, and I'm not just saying that because you know, we're live and because, you know, I know you guys for so many years, but it's primarily because it's true. If it wasn't for the manifestation, especially when you guys said journaling. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the time to journal, and a lot of people find it very tedious. They're like, oh, you know, who's going to take out the time, who's going to write it, who's going to get colored pens. To be very fair, okay, I don't know if I have a pen or I've had a pen in the past few months. You know what I mean? But we have phones, okay?
Right.
We just got
Right.
to pick up our phone and we've got to type what we need. We type
Mhm.
text, we type captions, we type all sorts of things. We need to be able to take time out for ourselves. And that's something people struggle with. Now, it's not necessarily because they're busy per se. I mean, come on, you guys are busy too, but y'all still take out the time, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
guys have families, you guys have things to do, right? But that doesn't stop you from still doing, or still, you know, doing you, still not being able to take time out for you. Look, I know how people think me time is like, oh yeah, it's so cliche now. Me time is just me going out partying or me kind of going crazy. You know what I mean? But that's not necessarily okay. If that's me time to you, then that's great. But
Right.
that's not necessarily me time. Now, for example, me time for me may be different for me time for you guys. So,
Right.
for example,
Yes.
my me time would be like if I get to go to a spa, or if I go to the salon, you know, come out as a new person, or, you know, going
Mhm.
to watch a movie that can change the way that I think based on the messaging that I'm picking out of it, right? But or it could be food. I mean, who don't like food?
Mhm.
Right.
So, but it really truly depends on each person. But I think the overall gist is, can you be yourself around yourself? A lot of
Mhm.
people sometimes feel like they're walking on eggshells, even around themselves.
True.
Maybe because of, I guess, stigma or the trauma of being snubbed or being told that you may not be good enough, or, you know, hearing it from the most loved ones. There's a very good quote that I actually just watched an hour ago. I'm not gonna lie. It was from you know, the Hunger Games. So there was a prequel
Right.
created,
Mhm.
I think 2023, so 3 years ago. And at the very, very last dialogue, or the very last thing that President Snow in the movie said was, "You get hurt the most by the people you love the most." And that's what really hit me, was when I thought, "Oh, you know what? That's not wrong." I mean, I'm not saying that your loved ones are bad per se. I'm not saying that, you know, it's
Mhm.
always going to be your loved ones, but what the people you consider the closest to, it matters what they say. And it might interfere with your manifestation. But again, coming back to me being a prime example because of you guys, I realized to to wipe out or to be able to space out from the noise out of my own head,
Mhm,
whether it's a loved one, whether it's a friend, whether it's a stranger, whether it's authority, whether it's whoever it may be. If
mhm.
you're able to focus on who you think you
Yes.
should be and what you think is the right thing to do, that is all that truly matters. As long as you're obviously not harming anyone, you're not
Yes.
doing anything wrong to the environment, you're not, you know what I mean. So as long as your internal moral compass
I was
is
just
in the
about to
right
say the same thing.
direction,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as long as it's in the right direction and whatever you're doing is good for you, so be it. That's all that matters. And so, yeah, again, the prime example thing comes back to, again, how you guys taught me, not just the journaling, but the fact that, again, keeping the noise out, but also being able to truly be yourself and having a defined space where you can call peace. That brings us to obviously the alchemic thought, which is peace. How do you find that peace when, the world is, it has its moments of almost being torn to shreds, to almost being, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of negativity everywhere. But does that mean that you have to consume it? No. Does that mean you have to become it? No. Does that mean you have to, make it a part of your daily life? No. I mean, yeah, you can hear about it. It's like me. I love the drama, but I'm gonna listen to it from far. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be in the drama, but I'll listen to it. So, you know, so there's that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the difference between when we first had our conversations, how it was back in the moment to how it is now? How do you see me now? Because we've had a discussion before, and having this discussion now, how do you see
Woo.
it?
That's beautiful.
You know,
That's beautiful.
first of all, Bilal, we just want to thank you for being
Mm-hmm.
here. And
Thank you.
we want to thank you so much for your kind words that you just said to Lady J and I, because we remembered our spaces that we had our conversations in. And we remember you listened very attentively to what Joan and I was saying to you. But you didn't just listen.
Right.
You put it into practice. You put
Correct.
in the inspired action.
Oh,
And
Correct.
because you did that, that is why you see the results, what we are seeing today in front of us on the screen. Because you put in the an inspired action. And that is what we have to do as individuals. We can only say something to you, but you now have to take the inspired action and start to put the work in yourself, because it's an inner work. As I said before in the opening, it's not an outer work, it's an inner work. And Bilal took the time to put in the work. That is why he was able to transform his life into what you are seeing here today. And we just want to congratulate you of taking the step and putting in the work to arrive
Thank
where
you.
you are today. And we're so proud of you, because seeing someone transform, it makes us feel, you know what? We are doing a good job.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
looking at your life, you have transformed, and you have transformed remarkably. You have transformed not only into one space, into different spaces. And
That is true.
because of that, it took you across the world, right? So that is
That's
how transformations
that's a
happen.
rabbit hole we're gonna go down later in this conversation.
I know, right? It removes you, because when you
Mm,
transform, you're not the same anymore. It's a lot
right,
of things, as I said in the opening statement. Once you do the internal, the external is gonna change. And
right,
when the external change, it will leave you, this is happening to me. It's going to happen. Great things is going to
right,
start to happen, because you took the time to do the internal work. You changed the internal landscape. And
right,
once you change the internal landscape, you will find that the external will change, because of the,
right,
because you're going to start to mirror now what's happening on the inside. So we are so proud of you, Bilal. We are
Thank you.
absolutely, you look totally different.
I hope that's a good thing.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's a good difference.
But there's one thing I want to add to that though is how you mentioned internal and external, how the external follows the internal transformation. A lot of the time people want to make transformations, but they want it to be loud. They want people to know. And I think that's the worst thing you can do for yourself. If you're making a transformation, because the thing is, even to this very day, even despite everything that I've ever done, there's a lot of people I'm pretty sure who still either don't see the change that I've done, or they don't see the effort that I make. That's primarily not because, one, it's not about anyone else's validation. Two, it's also, but it's also because in the quietness of your mind and in the boundaries of that peaceful home that you've created is when things happen. It doesn't have to be in people's faces. It doesn't have to be spoken too much about. Now, for example, I may not have had, let's say, the most career breaking transformation, right? But it's the process that built it to the point where it's my internal. So for example, every time I sleep at night, and there's a lot of people who can vouch for this, from family and people, is I pass out in like 5 seconds. I'm out. Like, and it's not, I don't know, I don't think it's a problem. But the thing is, it's just the fact that I could sleep anywhere, anytime, any place, just pass out. Because I know at the end of the day, I don't have the burden of harming somebody else. I don't have the burden of, am I good enough? I don't have the burden of, is everything going to work out? Because if you release the energy of will it or will it not, it will happen. So when you like let go of the, what if I were to do this? What if I were to do that better? And at some point acknowledge that, you know what? I'm just going to let it out. Today was today. Tomorrow's a new day. You're going to allow the universe to bring in more blessings and more opportunities your way because you've created space. Creating space is something people really undervalue. You know what I mean? Like you got to create space, and it's not just for yourself. Like, how you said it's internal and then how the external follows. External could be several things. And I realized external is, my relationship with people, my relationship with family, my relationship with strangers. There, for example, there is one particular person who did inspire me tremendously, who I very recently met also, and was probably watching this too. Is the thing is, you always just need that one trigger point. Triggering can sound very derogatory, as in not derogatory, but it can sound very negative. That, oh, something's triggered something, but something good can be triggered too. It doesn't have to be wrong. It doesn't have to be bad. You know what I mean? That one person who enters your life, or two, or the few people that you've kept in your surrounding that are that you can be at peace with, are the ones that truly give you that trigger point of, I'm
Yes.
okay. You know, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm living life, and the more I keep myself happy is the more I'm going to work harder, the more I'm going to make a living for myself, but at the same time be able to just, it's like a circle. Be happy, keep yourself, spend enough money to be happy enough to work harder to be able to bring that happiness again, and then so and so and so and so. So yeah, I mean, for example, if you want to get a new haircut, go crazy. You want to change your hair to like orange, go for it. If it makes you happy and allows you to work harder, there's nothing stopping you other than yourself. People will always stop you. People will always come in and say, you can't do that. You
So
can't
true.
say this.
So,
You
so
can't
true.
go close to it. You
So
can't do
true.
it. And honestly, from someone who during school, I wasn't the most popular kid. I had to become popular. And then that kind of went down again. But then it came back up again. It was always a constant roller coaster. But I realized that the energy I built, and I think that you guys mentioned this also, is the energy you bring to the room. When you
Mhm,
bring a certain mindset into the room,
mhm,
energies shift and you don't even realize it. If you
right.
walk into the room knowing that I am good enough to be
Mhm,
here
mhm,
and that I deserve to be at this table, is when people will treat you like you deserve. If
correct.
you come in
Abs-
like, like just like crouch down and just like, yeah,
Right,
like I
right,
like,
right.
like
That's true.
your chest inwards and just head down and nervous, and you're just, you don't
Right.
feel like you belong, you'll never belong.
They
It's
never
you
belong.
who creates that sense of belonging, whether someone believes it or not, whether they accept it or not. External validation is never going to help your internal validations for sure.
No.
You know what I mean? People will never have enough. People will always have something to say, good or bad, irrespective. They will say what comes to their mind. And sometimes they don't even say it to your face. They'll say it behind you. And
Right.
even though times it does hurt, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because I realized is I will say to your face what I'll say behind you. And because I'm doing it, I don't mind if someone else wants to do it. In fact, I think if y'all want to talk behind my back, yo, I'm gonna give you a show to watch. You know what I mean? Like, give him a show. Like, why not? If
Right.
you're entertained, I'm gonna entertain you more. Simple as that. So that I think definitely
Yes.
has been transformation. And then the
Mhm.
encouragement to work out and try to build the external, body as well. And I think it makes a
Mhm.
change. It definitely does. But I think
Yeah.
what's most important though is knowing, because I really, really cannot emphasize enough to anyone who's watching, is how important what Lady K and Lady J are doing and what they've done. And I'm not just saying that, I genuinely, truly mean that from the core of my heart, because it's not every day that you have people putting aside everything they do during their day, taking as much time as they can, even though they could be doing something much more profitable. They could be doing, you know, something absolutely like something that purely benefits them for only their sake, but they tend to take the time out to be able to create ways that people can experience life in a more better way, where MJ very nicely sang a song about it, saying got man in the mirror, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So there's things like that, and I think you guys really don't get enough credit as you guys deserve. I
Wow.
genuinely think you guys deserve a lot more credit.
Thank
And
you,
even though
Bala.
y'all already get like way too much credit though, which is good, but you guys deserve more. And as far as I think, and I think we've spoken about this before, is y'all like I know that you guys are going to expand very soon too, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys are coming across the globe too. Is that correct? Is that something we see in the near future? I think you guys
Yes,
said
Bala.
Asia, correct?
Mhm.
Asia is ready, I'm sure. But like, yeah, but what do you guys feel about how, let's say, in terms of again coming back to the alchemic mind, what are your experiences, or let's say one particular, actually, let's make it fun. Give me one song that you guys have heard that you guys can resonate with the most when it comes to the alchemic mind. One song.
The man in the
Do you guys?
mirror.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But before you go to the song and you'd ask the
Mm,
question, I just want to, and I'm speaking on both of us. I know Karen did, but I just want to step into as well and say, congratulations to you.
thank you.
Congratulations who you are. And
Mhm.
you have make, and want for a better word, I want to use the word seismic. I want to use the word seismic shift,
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
right?
been.
Because that is what that's what happened. Because, and it just didn't happen like that, as you
Yeah.
spoke about. Things happen quietly, but before you were able to attain that, and thanks for saying the kind words to us as well. Before you were able to attain that, you had to do
Mhm.
a lot of inner work.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You had to do a lot of inner work
Mhm.
so
That
that you
people
can
don't.
come to the place
Yes.
where you
Yeah.
can receive that level of elevation, that level of transformation, and not only that, their level of peace. Because when you say that you can sleep at night with ease,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
To sleep at night with ease, and you've rested the burden of worry
Mm,
that people move around on a daily
Mhm.
basis. It's very
right.
comforting to know that you can have that level of ease, have that
Yeah.
level of grace, and have that level of assurance that I mightn't see it now, but it's going to work out because I believe in something higher than myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I trust the process. I've done
Yeah.
the work, and all I have to do is just show up fully, show up in a room that I know that I belong there, and the rest will work itself out because I know the universe has got my back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
true. You're absolutely go ahead, Bilal.
Oh, no, no, that's okay. I was going to add as well is that, when you know how we're always worried that we're going to be late? We're always worried that, oh my God, we got to rush. We're going to be late. Like it's the end of the world, right? When
Right.
you realize you don't have to worry if a minute or two or 5 or 10, okay, you could be late. Cool. That's all Gucci. But like, I mean, is the world going to really end?
True.
Maybe someone's going to get angry. Sure. Maybe someone might see it as disrespect. Sure.
Mhm.
But if as long as there's like a legit reason and the fact that you calmly start and initially, yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy because people are going to be upset that you're annoyed. They're like, why are you late? But at one point, when you start to slow down, time does slow slightly with you too. And it just
Exactly.
starts to favor you, even though I'm still always late. But the point is that I still come with good intention. So
Right.
it's all
Right.
about like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes if you just slow down and realize where am I really rushing to? Do I
Mm-hmm.
why am I running like it's like World War Z outside? Like, there's no zombies running after me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you could reach there. It's okay. As long as you realize in your head that it's okay is your when we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna truly be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like to thank you for saying that. And I like how you spoke about pausing, right?
Yeah.
You spoke about letting go.
Yes.
And all those things are tools or those things that have really moved in the level of alignment. That's why you attain to the level of peace. That's why you make the seismic shift. That's why you're looking greater and more handsome than ever. And
Oh.
and but you as I think Lady K said, your inner, right? You're not harboring any grudges. You're not
No.
harboring anything within. So your reflection of what is inside reflects on the outside. So
Oh
you
yeah.
can show up with joy, with peace, with laughter, because you're in such a different place in your life right now. Every season in our life looks different
Yes.
differently. And you're in a season now that you're embodying just joy. Things are working out greatly for you. And only because you've done the work, that's why you can experience that. And
Yes.
even if it doesn't work out good for you for the moment, you know how to reset very quickly
Mm.
because you have gathered the tools over the years and you have a
Yeah.
different mindset that you know that if it doesn't work for this moment, then there got to be a reason that the universe is redirecting you to something bigger and
Mm-hmm.
something higher.
I mean, I think
Correct?
that's a very Sagittarius thing too. Like, I've always been the one person who's just like, "Don't blame your star sign," but I think I've started to do it now. I'm just like, "No, just because I'm a Sagittarius." But like,
Your Lady K is the same. Is the same. Lady K is a
That's
Sagittarius
sadly
too.
too.
if you would understand how something happens, a setback happens, we get up and we move. We ain't got time to waste. We move.
That is absolutely right. But that can only happen when we are self-aware.
Oh
True.
yeah, that's so true.
That can only happen when we can get up and reset and move. Is because we're self-aware and we understand, what? This is just going to happen for this moment.
Right, right.
Yeah.
This is not forever. It's only happening for this moment. And when we look
Right.
at things when it's happening in the moment, it's happening
Mm.
for your own good.
Mhm.
Right.
It's happening
Absolutely.
for your own good.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
Exactly. But
Yeah.
it just depends on how we're looking at what is happening.
Exactly.
Again, self-awareness, And once we can really understand the self-awareness, that's our foundation. That's our foundation that we're standing on. And another thing is emotional inventory.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Correct.
Because the emotional inventory is the regulation, how you're regulating your emotions when things happen in your life.
Yeah.
How are you stepping back? You're pausing, looking at yourself, and regulating your emotion in that present moment. Are you allowing yourself to escalate? Because many times we allow ourselves to escalate with emotions.
Right,
We
right.
get caught
Correct.
up in a situation and then we start to escalate. But again,
Yeah.
self-awareness. Because let's say we're standing in front of somebody and we get triggered. Once you see you getting triggered, there is some part of you that still need healing. And
Correct.
once you're getting triggered, there is some part in you that needs the attention.
Mhm.
That is
So
true. That's very true.
once you start to address that, you
Hmm.
ask yourself in the moment, why is this upsetting me?
Mhm.
Why is this
Mhm.
making me uncomfortable? There got to be a reason I am getting upset. I'm feeling uncomfortable because this person said something to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So when you start to regularize yourself now, then you understand what happened in that moment. It's going to
Mm.
benefit you because you're realizing that there's something happening within you that needs the attention, which many times we don't give it the attention.
Mm.
And when we don't give things that keep arising in our life the attention, you're going to continue to confront it. It's
Oh,
going to
100%.
always show up in your face. That is how you
Yeah.
that is why I said the mirroring. The mirroring is going to continue to mirror until
Correct.
you really get what is happening in your life. We
Oh,
all go
absolutely.
through different stuff. We
Yeah.
all go through different stuff. And when you do that,
Mm.
that's the part of transmutation.
Oh,
I agree. In fact, I
it's
think a
crucial.
lot of the times when you know how you just mentioned, you really need to be self-aware and emotionally regulated
Mhm.
to heal. Now, the reason why I would say that not everyone has the capacity to do so,
That's true.
people can build it. They can. I'm not saying no
Mhm.
one. I'm not saying it's limited to some people, but
Right.
not a lot of people. I don't know if it's willing to, but I think it's more so not ready might be the right
Not
word, right?
right.
And I
Yes.
think,
That's it. Right.
because
You
I've
got to be
noticed a lot of
ready.
times, for example, there's people that I want to love, there's people I want to care about, there's people I want to get attached to, but because of certain traumatic history or traumatic, reasons, maybe it's previous breakups, maybe it could be a childhood issue, maybe a family issue,
Mhm, mhm.
they're not a lot. I've noticed a lot of people are not accepting when someone's willing to give their all. Why? Is because they don't think either they subconsciously don't think they deserve it, or they just
Yes.
don't know if that part of them is going to heal yet or not, or that they're
Yeah.
too afraid it's going to happen again, or they're afraid they're going to hurt the next person. But
Yes.
honestly, I truly, genuinely think that if you care about someone and you're giving your 100%, and the other person even has a potential reason to like you, I think it's enough to go ahead, right? So just like that, healing doesn't, even though healing may be internal, but it's, as you said, external follows. So it
Yeah.
definitely affects external connections, external
Mhm.
relationships, external
Mhm.
bondings, because you're not able to kind of recover from what's happened, and which is understandable.
Which is
I'm not saying
understandable.
everyone's
Right.
like, me and Lady K, Sagittarian, we just go up and running. But like,
Mhm.
but the
Right.
thing is, people can. It's just, like you guys, again, because of you guys, I have now too, is understood that everything can be talked about. There's nothing that
Yes.
cannot be discussed. People usually,
So true.
they get to, as you said earlier, emotionally agitated, or they get aggressive emotionally because they haven't vented it out, they haven't dealt with it. So the only escape they do is because they're not healed, is they scream, or they
Mhm.
would say things that they might not mean or later regret, is not
Yeah.
because they want to, it's just because they don't know how other way to react.
Right.
And it's not, and to be very fair, therapy is expensive. So maybe it's not easy as people as it is to say, oh, people need to see therapy. I was in fact talking about this the other day to somebody, and they said, and funny story, this was on a plane, like two seats like next to me, there's this guy, and he was just coming from a yoga retreat to Bali, and he was heading back to London. And so I was on that flight to London, and he was telling me about, like, oh, maybe I need to see therapy. I realized that, I've opened up my third eye and all that, and I've discovered a new energy. And I was like, that's great, but like, is therapy expensive? He's like, yeah, it is actually pretty expensive. So there, so maybe not everyone is privileged enough to afford therapy, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
can there can be there are ways to discover yourself without the necessary need to have
Right.
external intervention. Sometimes it
Yes.
is necessary, whether it's through heartbreaks, whether it's through,
Mhm.
being isolated from your friends or from
Mhm.
community or society in general, because I mean, I'm quite a black sheep of my family. I'm not gonna lie. So there are times where I would be isolated too. Not because
Mm-hmm.
isolated particularly as in like ostracized, but isolated in the sense that they may not understand, right? And again,
Yes.
because I understand in my head that I'm okay. Like I know that this is my career aspirations. This is what I want to go towards. This is the direction that I'm willing to take. But whether somebody accepts it or not, that is their healing. When we realize that we need not react to people who are not healed, is when we internally see it from a third point of view. And we're like, okay, if they're not healed, that's how they're reacting. That's exactly what I am not to do. That's what I'm not gonna do if they're yelling. So, and I've realized this over time, and the relationships I've had, and like moving on from them and stuff is, I would always have a sit down. I'd just be like, it's very easy. You have, okay, what's the problem? This is the problem, da 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 da. Okay. Either this is going to go in a positive angle where we're going to work it out, but if it's not, what is our next best solution? When you realize that life is entirely made up of problem, solution, there's always a solution. There's never an issue where there's never a solution. And if someone just gives up, then that's a part of them that's not healed. And that's where I think you guys come in. Your podcast come in because it's definitely healed me. And I'm a live example of that. And again, when a lot of people watching may be like, oh, but like, how are you healed? You still have issues. Well, yeah, we all have issues. I mean,
Exactly.
healing doesn't mean we don't have issues. It just means, how do we deal with the issues? Do
Yeah.
we, like, do we burst into flames and just crawl on our knees? No. If you can deal with issues in a way that works for you and works for the other party, great.
Mm-hmm.
And it always can. It's just when people don't understand that having a mature conversation is super important, is when the actual problems arise and the solution starts to vanish.
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's pretty, I think life, I've realized, is very simple. Okay.
Very
Like,
It
it's
is.
really not that hard. I think people just think too much. I mean, I was noticing my younger siblings as well. They were putting a post on Instagram, and they were thinking and thinking. They're like, should we do that? Should we do that? Should we do that? They spent hours. And I'm just like, yo, you get something out there, something's gonna happen, right? You don't put
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen. It's as simple as that. So it really truly depends on, how people see it. And again, this is why I'm so excited that you guys are coming to Asia soon, is because, or you guys are at least planning to expand, is because different cultures see it very differently. So, for example,
Yes.
from someone in the US or from North America, or with a Western culture, might see it a little more different because the resources and facilities provided are different versus
Mhm.
somebody in other parts of the world, whether it's South Asia, Southeast Asia, it's in North Africa, or it's even like any African continent or the Middle East, right? Different resources, different upbringing,
Yes.
different cultures, and then people react very differently in each continent. And it's not because people are necessarily different in a particular way, but it's just because they see it from an angle that may be unique to other parts of the world. And by that I don't mean like, by that I don't mean, it's very different, because every culture, I think, not every culture, but every aspect of the world is connected in some shape or form. We all live the
Correct.
same life. I mean, even though, there's class struggles, there's different poverty,
Mhm.
there's a lot of different things, but irrespective of that, a human is still a human. We're still a soul in a vessel that's been provided to us by a higher being, God, or whatever some people out there believe in. But it's all about, how do you understand and are able to change the energies that surround you. I mean, you guys bring such a wonderful energy. It's great. And so,
Thank
like,
you.
I don't, I mean, if I can, I think anybody can. Like, it's straight up very simple. If I can bring a different energy, me being me, anybody can. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy around, or I'm not the most, like a 4.0 GPA kind of guy, but like, it's just, I don't think you have to be really smart. You just got to be really in line and in tune with who you
Mhm.
are and who you
Correct.
want to
Yes.
be.
You said it.
Yes.
You said it.
Yes.
You said it.
Yes.
in line and in tune.
Tune. Yes. That's the
And
alignment part right
yeah,
there,
alignment.
because, and you have to move with intention.
Of course,
Mm,
intentionality is always is.
We have to move with intention. And again, I'm going to pedal back because things happen in our lives and it's happening for a reason.
right.
It's happening for a reason. And when we can understand the difficult emotions that we process, the limiting beliefs, the moments of crisis,
Right.
all those things are the raw materials
Correct.
Yeah.
that is going to help to transform our lives.
True.
Those
Yeah.
are the secret ingredients.
Secret sauce.
And if we can, if we, right, and if we can zoom in on those things, that's why I come back to the journaling,
I think we
you
need the
know.
ingredients for that recipe or the recipe for the sauce. That's what we need.
Right, right.
Right, exactly, right. So
Yeah.
once we can zoom in on that, the raw materials,
Mm,
and see exactly why are we feeling stressed out,
yeah.
why am I feeling this way, why I'm having this heavy feeling, or sometimes people may say I feel like if I'm falling apart,
Right.
Mm,
Right.
but when you're feeling that way, that is the moment when you gotta zoom in
mm,
to that aspect of your life,
yeah.
because that is helping you to understand that, that this period and this phase of my life, I need it in order for my breakthrough. I need this phase in order for my breakthrough. So if you feel as though you're falling apart and so
Mhm.
much things start happening in your life, look at it with a good eye, not a negative eye.
Mhm.
Because when you start to look at things with the positive aspect, it's happening for me, not against me, then is when you start to see things with a totally different lens. But many times when things happening in our lives, we see it as something so bad, so negative. We always run to the negative aspect. We don't
Oh
see
yeah.
these things as the positive things happening for us. Whatever negative moments happening, we're not seeing the positive in the negative. We always
Correct.
run to the negative aspect, but the positivity is right there for you. There is where the transformation happens, right there. The pressure.
I mean, positivity is always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's 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 who you are as a person. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like I mean, okay, I'm not saying that there's bad people and good people, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is nobody's born evil, right?
No.
Everyone has a backstory for why they become
Yes.
evil or why they
Yeah.
may become the way that they have. Maybe unhealed, issues.
Absolutely.
Maybe how they've lost hope in humanity. I think hope is very important. When you lose hope,
Yes.
you can't contain that moral compass.
No.
You
Yes.
know, that compass is broken and it's pointing the other direction. So I I think I think at that point in time, again, there may not be therapy, but honestly what's worked best for me is having an animal. When you get an animal, it changes you as a person. And I know a lot of people are
Yes.
going to be like, no, but I can't keep an animal, no, my parents are not going to allow it, no. Those are just reasons. Like, y'all need to like figure that out, but something
Yeah.
can change. I mean, whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog, whether it's, I don't know, maybe it's a rabbit. You know what I mean? There's energies that animals may have
Of
that
course.
humans
Yes.
Of
may not
course.
entirely have.
Of course.
They
Of
see
course.
things we
Yes.
don't see.
Of course.
So,
Absolutely.
and when you realize that you have that they're unconditionally attached to you, and I think it teaches you a lot about humanity. It teaches you a lot about what we
Yes.
are supposed to be, but we're not.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the amount of people I have met, like, there's times where people would say all kinds of things like, oh, I'm gonna choose you. Okay. And they're gonna say and they're gonna say, like, yeah, like you're like my best friend and shit and stuff. Sorry. But like, at that point you realize, um, but the actions don't show it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
They say it, people say things, but it's truly how you react to it. Like, for example, if you if you know someone's not present, right? What's the best thing you can do? And when you know that they matter to you, what's the okay? So if I have to ask you guys, if someone really matters to you, right, and you know they're not there, what's the first thing you're going to do if they're not responding to you?
If someone is in our lives
Yeah.
and
And they matter to you, but you haven't heard from them in a week. What are you going to
Mhm.
do? What's the first thing you're going to do?
you reach out.
All the time.
Exactly. You will call them,
You
correct?
connect, you call, connect,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
text, email, and if it's within
Right.
distance, you show up.
Yes.
A lot of people don't. Now they then will find reasons to show otherwise. And again, this is not pointed to anyone or anything, but there's
Right.
times where, they'll say like, "Oh, I didn't know." Well, how were you supposed to know?
Right.
Did you do something about it?
How
Did
did
you
you?
try to reach out? I mean, obviously these things are even with healing and even with, everything that you do internally. We're again being human, at some point it may have a little prick in our brain, but again, it's not going to consume us, but at least it makes you think about, okay,
Yes.
so now I know. And then you take a step back and okay, are you genuine? Are you real? Are
Right.
you not? And that's when you don't have to make a scene. You don't gotta be loud. You don't gotta be no nothing. You can just kind of be like, cool, I'm civil. I'm here. I'm gonna be me. And I'm still going to be there for you because I said it once and I meant it. And you're always
Yeah.
gonna be there. It's just how you change the direction of it to
Mhm.
how much time you
Good.
spend on it. And now a lot of people realize, and this might be a very controversial statement, and like a lot of people watching might be like, what do you mean? Like, that's just a very mean thing to say. But I think normalizing change and normalizing distance between people you are very close to at once is okay. A lot of people
Yeah.
assume that, oh, we were really close. Like, why did you distance yourself? You don't have to really necessarily answer that. At times, you can
I
just be like,
agree.
cool, we were very tight. I had
Mhm.
certain expectations. It
Right.
didn't work
Right.
out, and that's fine. We can still be in the same capacity. I'm still gonna be me. I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna be there when you need me. But and this is a very important part of the internal healing
Of
process.
course.
When you
Absolutely.
Of
realize
course.
that building that like space where you're like, okay, if I'm not gonna get it back, and not that you should always assume that way. You should always
Right.
think like, okay, I'm gonna get it back. That's why I'm gonna do it. You do it from your heart, and that's who you are. But then if you don't get it back, you don't necessarily need it. But then at least where do I spend my energy and in what
Correct.
directions and in how much quantity, right? Do you really
Correct.
want to spend extra energy on someone who's taking that energy for granted? No.
Mhm.
You'd rather save it and spend it on either yourself or invest it in people that are going to be your support system. Like
So
again,
true.
the person I mentioned earlier who's also going to watch and who's really triggered my inspiration, probably on their way to work, but inspiration. That person also made me realize that the energy I was spending in different people or different areas
Mhm.
that were not giving it back, I realized that I had to step up, take back those energies. I mean, keep being myself, be there when they need me, but take that energy and spend it here on that person that's actually taking the time out. So it truly depends on, your internal healing really depends on um as in like how quickly you're able to do it is on how quickly you understand validation isn't everything, and the fact
Sure.
that your energy matters the most. And by energy doesn't necessarily mean your mood, but your energy just means how much you invest in
Mhm.
people, how much you invest in yourself versus how much you invest in other things. So investment is important. Like, I mean, come on, if you guys invest in like something that's drowning, are you going to get an ROI out of it? No. But if you invest in, let's say, I don't know,
Mm-mm.
a massive multinational corporation that's making a lot more money and your stocks are going to go
Mhm.
higher, you're naturally going to invest into that or even gold
Mhm.
or so on, right?
Mhm.
You wouldn't
Mhm.
invest into like a
Mhm.
sinking ship because it just doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
So your energy is the same. That's what I think. And that's
Mhm.
why I spend my energy speaking to you guys for so many years. Um,
That's why we spend time talking to you too, because
Yes.
your energy is always so good. It's always
Yes.
so uplifting, and that's why we're having this
Mm,
conversation. I just
Mhm.
yeah,
want to jump back a little bit. No,
yeah.
you want to say something there?
No, no, go on. Yeah.
Okay. No, we talk about a lot of things, and we talk about your environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the audience, we want to ask them, consider your environment. What environment
Yeah.
are you in?
Mm-hmm.
The people you're surrounded with, by
Yeah.
your external environment and your internal environment too, which matters. What are you
Mm-hmm.
holding on to? Unforgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
as well. You spoke on energy when people are not showing up for you, because it's supposed to be reciprocated, right?
Yeah.
If you spending a lot of energy and pouring into someone, and when the moment or time come and you need that support as well, it's not being reciprocated to you, then you have to think, where am
Yeah.
I, and consider, reconsider the level of relationship. Not that you changing, but you know how to direct your energy. You are going to still be for that person if you choose to, but then your approach will be different, because you now have to know how you're going to conserve in your energy and redirect your energy to places where you can get good returns, uplift you, motivate you, or whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
So your environment is so important. And then we got to focus on gratitude. Gratitude is a tool. We got to be always be grateful, the people in our lives, the opportunity that we've received, and all those things, right? And gratitude for ourselves, so who we are, who we constantly becoming, because those things are very. And we got to be grateful for, whatever is your higher power that you believe in, that is allowing you to excel, allowing you to soar, because we don't do things by ourselves. There is a power outside of us that is helping us to be excellent of who we are.
Yeah,
And
in fact,
you got to
if you
focus.
guys want to mention, like,
Yeah,
as you said, right? Like, if people leave comments as well, telling us about how they're, like, internal, external, but also what is something they're going through, that they just
mhm,
want some sort of an idea for how they can channel that inner healing. They can
yes,
also let me know if you guys want,
yeah,
because
yes,
y'all have like experts. Y'all have Lady K and Lady
mhm,
J. Okay, there's no better time than asking the experts themselves right now. And even if you have an idea, or even if you
right,
guys like want to come up with a way to brainstorm, or something you guys want to kind of, pick with them later, now is the time to
mhm.
kind of bring it up, because it'll be great. We're live. We can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk
Yes.
about it.
Uh, and one thing
We
also
got
I wanted to, though, I'm so sorry. Go on. Yep.
no.
Yep.
We said we got an expert alchemic mind too as well. It's you in the house, because you've witnessed the piece. You've been through, had a
Yeah.
seismic shift. You've been through the level of transformation and continue to
Yeah.
transform, because we
Thank
constantly
you.
keep growing every day.
Yes.
But
True.
yes,
And it's like, sometimes you look at public figures and their stories and their histories. That's something that's helped me too. I don't know how many people that might help, but for example, Michael Jackson's story. It could be Lady Diana's story. It could be a lot of people along the way, what they stood for, what they did for humanity, how they were treated, how people saw them, what the hell they had gone through to
mhm,
still come out and still
mhm,
be themselves and their authentic selves. They could have very easily switched gears and turned
right,
into a whole big mess, but
mhm,
they chose to still serve humanity. And when you
mhm,
start to understand their story and realize why they chose to still continue, what made them choose to still continue, and why they're always going to be in our hearts, and that's when you have this, this lightning strike on your head, and you're just
mhm,
like, yo, I mean, if they can do it with all that pressure,
right, right,
I don't
right.
have that many people watching. I'm okay. I can still
Mhm.
survive. And it's when you'll survive. Maybe that might help too. That's just a small little tip.
So true what you're saying, Bilal. And I just wanna pedal back on something that you said. You talk about space,
Mm,
you talk about alignment, right?
yep.
And space, alignment, and boundaries,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
right? When we are evolving,
Yep.
there's a lot of clarity.
Right.
We get a
Yep.
lot of clarity. And because we get a lot of clarity, we start to filter out the noise.
Mm-hmm.
We start to filter out things that really is not serving our energy any longer. The
Right.
filtration start to happen in our
Yeah.
lives. And
Yeah.
when the filtration is happening, it's that the separation is happening, because when you filter something, you're separating,
Right.
right?
Right.
Just think about filtering. You're separating, right?
Yeah.
And you're separating what don't belong anymore
Mm-hmm.
Right.
within your space. Your energy is not feeling that any longer,
Yeah.
and you are being more conscious about what
Right.
is happening in
Yeah.
your environment, in your life, and you understand now that, you know what, I want the inner peace that I already have
Right.
achieved
Right.
in my life, and the outside noise, this environment that I was in before, this space that I was in before, I
Yeah.
don't really see myself and my energy in that space anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you separate yourself now, removing your energy now from that space, because you now want to align yourself now with your energy.
Mm-hmm.
You want now to move to that frequency now, to reach people on that level. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
you're better than anybody else, or
No.
you're trying to whatever people words people use, right? But it's just your energy becomes very
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
being in
Yeah.
space with certain individuals. You the energy is not aligned anymore, and it's okay, because
Yeah.
remember, you put in your inner work, right? So now you got
Mm-hmm.
to protect your energy now, because you
Yeah.
put in that inner work. You take the time, you take the inspired action, you put in your work now. So now your energy is not matching with the past. Your energy evolved. So now you got to move into spaces now that is going to align with the energy that you're carrying now. And that's the
Right.
external. So once you
Yeah.
change the internal, the external, it's going to change. That is what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Right.
Absolutely. In fact, an inner
Absolutely.
child is also something that you guys want to kind of touch base on, because a lot of people, I mean, I wouldn't say kill their inner child, but they put their inner child to sleep for the longest time possible, and sometimes that
Yes.
child just never wakes up. That
True.
child never wakes up. I
So
mean,
true.
it's
I totally
crazy.
agree with you.
Um, because I think you can be goofy, mature, smart at the same time. You don't have to be one or the other, right?
Right.
You don't have to be serious all about, when healing. Sometimes it's okay to be goofy or crazy or
Yes.
Right.
spontaneous, or just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna fly to Thailand tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just like, or again, maybe that's just a Sagittarius thing too. But the but yeah, it's do
Yeah.
something that you can later think about and say, you know what, I actually just did it, and what
Yes.
happened? I survived, and
You survived.
I'm okay. I
Yeah.
might
You
have spent a
survived.
couple of bucks here or there, but it was worth the experience. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's all about
So true.
experiences. So
Right.
that inner child, the moment that inner child's up, I know it's, again, it's my, a lot of people watching might be like, oh, but that's so like cliche, or that's something we've seen so many times or heard about.
Yes.
But people don't realize how important that really is. Like,
True.
if you can't be a child at heart, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your family, and if you, even if honestly, like, this might be a very controversial statement to make, and honestly, my family might not be so happy me saying this, but if anyone, irrespective of how they're related to you, as you said about boundaries, right? When they try to bring that inner child down or try to chain that inner child up, is when you know that you need to be able to distance from no matter who it is.
Yes. Yes.
It
Agree.
doesn't matter how close they are to you,
Mm-hmm.
or whether they're a parent, whether they're a best friend, whether they're your partner, or anyone it may be. The moment their chains are out is when you walk out that door. And not even
Yes.
walk out that door without, just leave it open. Walk out, but just leave the door open. As long as you're welcoming, I think you're okay. As long as you're not like shutting the door for good. Because always remember, you enter a room that has no windows and you shut that door and you lock that door, like it never gonna open, you going to suffocate and not be alive no more.
True.
But the
True.
moment you leave it open, you can always walk in and out.
You
You
can
know what I mean?
always,
That's
of
why
course.
that's why, cats and dogs have that little
Mhm.
door thingy where they can come in and out on the door. Like, if you can find an animal, what do you think they're gonna do, right? Oh, sorry. Somebody just, do you see the comment? What is causing the most friction right now? A difficult relationship, a demanding project, a somatic symptom in your body. Do not run from it. That friction is your raw material. Ask yourself. Oh, yeah. That is really true, though. People
Mhm.
do run from
Yes.
their problems, don't they? Isn't it easy to run from your problems, though?
Yeah,
Right,
it's
right,
easy.
Or
right.
It's
should
easy
we?
to
No.
run. Yes. It is so easy for us to run away from what, like what I was saying. That's your raw material.
Right.
But it's only when you're self-aware, when you come to
That's
that
it.
place of self-awareness, then you
Yeah.
could understand that whatever is happening at this present moment in my life, it's
Hmm.
helping me with my evolution.
Yeah.
But
Very true.
also, no, go ahead, Bilal.
No, no, no. I'm so, go on.
No, but also mindset is a very
Yeah,
important thing,
yeah,
because
yeah.
you have to understand once you get the self-awareness and you have the mindset,
Mm-hmm,
because now
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
when you have the mindset of a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset, when you have a growth mindset, that means you open up new possibilities, right? Because you're expanding your thinking, your
Mm-hmm.
skills,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you can see things as you. I think you spoke about earlier, and you as Bella as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can see things through a different lens,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and because not because it didn't happen now, but you can move to the level of new horizons, that greater to,
Correct.
greater things are there for me, and just not allowing that one thing or a couple of things define
Mm-hmm.
who I am,
Mm.
because I'm sure of myself. I've done the work. I
Mm-hmm.
practice self-love. I surrender. I've done all
Mm.
those things. So I've moved to the level of assurance. I know
Yeah.
who I am. I'm fully grounded. I can do a quick reset so
Yeah.
that whatever I'm experiencing in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, I know this is gonna, as
Mm-hmm.
the phrase said, this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's gonna pass, but I want to draw, as the raw material. I want to draw all the lessons out of this
Yes.
moment,
Yeah, yeah.
because those are the ingredients, as we spoke about, or
Absolutely.
the secret sauce. That out of that experience, I'm going to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And you take
Mm-hmm.
the time and you pause and you
Mm-hmm.
look
Yeah.
at it through those different lens.
Mm-hmm.
What is this moment teaching me?
Mm-hmm.
And as you draw from that, then you become more equipped,
Mm-hmm.
because
Right.
you're focusing on a fixed mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to always say this is the way I am and this is where it's going to be. No,
Yeah.
you're constantly
Mm-hmm.
becoming, you're constantly growing. You're,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
surrounding yourself with the right kind of people, that you're drawing new inspiration. You're turning
Mm-hmm.
inwards and you're drawing from your higher power, new
Yeah.
wisdom, new
Mm-hmm.
inspiration.
Absolutely.
You're moving with new intuition,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're moving intentional too as well. So all of those factors that are involved,
Yes.
you're becoming a new you. And that
Mm-hmm.
is why, as you rightly said, you guys were saying that sometimes we outgrown certain spaces.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
okay. There's
It's
nothing
okay.
wrong with that.
It's
It has
okay.
Absolutely.
served us well for the moment it
It's okay.
was.
It's like, I like to say this, like, for example, when we're kids, or at least when I was a lot younger, it's like, I don't know, like 20 something years ago. We'd go to McDonald's and we'd play in the swings, right? So obviously at one point I'm gonna stop playing in those McDonald's swings. You know what I mean? I can't be like a 30 something year old playing in a McDonald's swing. Think of it that way. You know what I mean? When you said outgrow, you
Mhm.
do outgrow, and it doesn't have to always be physical. It could sometimes just be an internal thing. Maybe
Of
you've
course.
Yes.
outgrown
Yes.
gossiping. Maybe you've
Right.
outgrown,
Of
Yes.
course.
you
Yes.
know, yeah, you've outgrown
Yes.
people who are just not serious. Maybe you've
Right.
True.
outgrown
Right. Right.
certain kinds of comedy. Maybe you've
Mm-hmm.
outgrown, for example, some people may be attracted to a certain um, kind of people. So people have different types, right? Some people have
Right.
no
Right.
types.
Yes.
Some
Right.
people have types. And sometimes, I don't know if you realize, types change over some time
Of
for some
course.
people,
Of
right?
course.
Like some
Yes.
at one point, someone might say a certain race, someone might say they like another
Right.
kind of race, and
Mhm.
it changes. And so you're right. You're absolutely right. Is when you outgrow your environment, but you don't do anything about it. I mean,
Right.
imagine a 30-year-old,
You
okay,
become
still being at a
stagnant.
McDonald's thing, okay? I mean, would I look good in it? Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, would it be
Yeah.
having the time of my life? Sure. But would would it be a good thing? No.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for example,
Mhm.
kids have Cerelac. do we still want to have Cerelac at this age? Like, I don't know.
Yes,
No,
yes.
although it's funny story though, they do actually nowadays serve Cerelac coffee. True story, which is weird, but each to
Wow.
their own, I guess. But
Which
anyway,
is not right.
Mhm,
but like for
mhm.
yeah, so you're right. You have to learn to outgrow, but when you do outgrow, okay, I have a question though for you guys because I know a lot of people that are watching may be experiencing this too. Is you know how you mentioned just now that uh this too shall pass, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of people, I mean, it's I understand it, you guys understand it, but a lot of people know it, but they don't believe it. What do you guys have to say to those people who are like, yeah, I've heard it, I get it, but I still can't get wrap my head around it, and
Mhm.
I don't believe it. What do you guys say to that? How would
Because
you
they're
guys?
fighting.
Right.
Mm,
You're
And
fighting.
right. And things nothing happen with force.
Mm-mm.
yes.
When you
That
try
type
to
of force,
force,
no, it's not going to work. You cannot go up against what's happening.
you will feel the resistance, right?
You
Yeah.
cannot go up against. That is why in what we discussed first, you gotta sit.
Mhm.
You gotta process what is
Mhm.
happening at this moment in your life. You gotta
Absolutely.
extract. As
Mhm.
I said, you gotta extract
Mhm.
all of the good things in whatever is the
Mhm.
situation. Look at it and
Yeah.
extract all of the good things out from the situation. And
Hmm.
then now you're going to take these good things now, and then you're going to tell yourself, how can I enhance myself out from this situation?
Yeah.
Right.
Because again, self-awareness, only when you can look at something and understand what is happening, you're going to judge it.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the only way. You
Mhm.
gotta you gotta step back, you gotta pause, and you gotta look at yourself, and you have to
Mm.
ask yourself this question, which many people don't like to ask themselves this type of questions.
Yeah.
This thing is happening to me in this moment.
Mm.
Why is this arising now in my life?
Mhm.
There gotta
Mm.
be a reason this is happening now in my life. What
Yeah.
lesson I need to learn from this particular situation?
Mhm.
Is this
Yeah.
helping me with my evolution?
Right.
Is this helping me to be a better person? Is this helping me to part of my transformation
Yeah.
within my life? You got to
Yeah.
sit with it. Don't force it. You got to sit with it. Because when you force it, nothing is going to come out
No,
from that.
not it. And I want to add it. Are you finished?
Yes, I'm done.
Are we ever though?
I I want to hit home too because when you said this social path in life, there are stages and there are phases,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when you may be going through something, right? That's a
Hmm.
phase or a stage if you want, however, whatever context you want to put it in.
Yeah.
But that stage or that phase for you is a preparation,
Absolutely.
right? It's a
Yeah.
preparation for your elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will, as if you want to go biblical, I want to go let me say biblical.
Ooh,
It's a
that's a very
stage
interesting one.
where the preparation takes place. And I think we spoke about that earlier.
Yes.
Sometimes you don't see any movements, it's get quiet, it's
Mm-hmm.
silent.
Hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
things are working behind the scenes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is why this too shall pass because it's only for a time. Sometimes the
Yeah.
duration might be short,
Sometimes it be
sometimes
long.
maybe be long. It depends what your next
Yes.
step is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Absolutely.
depends
In
what your
fact,
next step is.
You're absolutely
in fact,
So
right.
someone
it's
just said that
preparation and readiness,
Yes.
someone
right?
just
It's
said that it's
preparation and
sometimes
readiness.
difficult to embrace when you are deep in emotional pain that seems circular. How would you respond to that?
What's the question?
This sugar path is sometimes difficult to embrace when you are deep in emotional pain that seems circle. Again, when you're in that space, and
Mhm.
if you know you can't handle it, you got to reach out.
Right,
Hmm.
right. Without your trusted source.
Exactly. Reach out to the trusted source. When you are in that space and it becomes so overwhelmed that you can't handle this anymore, you reach your breaking point.
Mhm.
You got
Correct.
to reach out to the trusted source that can help you to
Mhm.
walk you through,
Right.
and bring awareness to you
Mhm.
exactly what's happening to you at this present moment.
And to support you and
Exactly, to give you that support that you need.
support you,
Mm-hmm.
uplift you, inspire you, and guide you through that process, because we all go through something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some might be heavier than others, maybe go through
Yeah.
Yeah.
challenges, whatever is it for you.
Mm-hmm.
But once you, if you feel that at this moment I feel overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
it's too much for me to handle. Now you reach
Mm-hmm.
out to a trusted source, whether
Mm-hmm.
on a professional level or friend or whatever,
Yeah.
but somebody who can, that have your interests for good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And able to uplift you, support you through your journey,
Mm-hmm.
right? And able to inspire you. And they may come to you and say something to you that you
Mm-hmm.
might have not even looked at.
Yes.
And you may able now at the moment to give a second look,
The aha moment.
right? A light
Mhm.
bulb. And
Mm-hmm.
you may say, you're right,
Yes, the aha
you know,
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you can tweak some things, because sometimes in situations, sometimes you may not use one approach. You may be doing it and become mundane. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
someone may say to you, have you ever tried that approach?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there may
Yeah.
be a shift right there in that moment for you.
And I got to stick a pin here.
Go ahead.
We have to be open-minded
Mhm.
when we are
Correct.
going through these different phases in our lives. We got to be open-minded and receptive,
Mhm.
because
Correct.
many times people show up in front of us and they're giving us a word, but
Mhm.
because we are so consumed with what is happening for
Right.
us, we miss the message.
That's true.
Many times
Correct.
messengers are being sent to us, but we miss the message because we are so consumed with what's going on with us. So we need to step back and give a listening ear.
Mhm.
And that comes to my other point, the level of
Ooh.
discernment.
Right.
Yes.
Because you have to have that level of discernment to know if it's a message to help you or not. Once you have that level of discernment, you can figure it out, because we are built for that. We are built for
True.
that. We have the
True.
capacity for that.
See,
Yeah.
this one's a very interesting one where someone just said sometimes it's difficult when you surround yourself with negative, manipulative people to find a helpful ear or safe place to share our pain. Now, as you guys said already, I think you guys already answered this, is to step back. But also coming from someone who I've had moments where, I've been laughed at, I've been ridiculed, I've been a black sheep. There's things, I mean, come on, where it's life. People are like that, right?
Yes.
But did that break you or break me? No. Why? Is because we understood that, again, it comes back all the way to validation. There will be negative people all the time. You can't avoid it. You just
No.
can't escape it. No matter how much of a bubble you live in, or no matter
True.
how much of internal healing you do, there will forever always be
Mhm.
a negative and there will be a positive. I mean, come on, look at batteries. Batteries have negative, positive too, but that's how they make it work. You always
Mhm.
will have the negative. But those are not something to be taken to heart. It's more so to take it in a different direction where your interpretation or your perspective changes in a way that favors you. So it's no longer about, okay, that was rude, but it's more about, okay, why did they say that? But not that it matters, but hey, that's something to think about. What can I do to change that? Or if I can't, am I doing something wrong? No. Do I need to worry? Nah. Keep going on. Like Dory very famously said, just keep swimming. But but also but, but another thing though, I think genuinely and truly believe in. I don't know if you guys believe in this or to what extent you believe in this is I don't think anyone on this planet will ever be um given burden more than they can handle. I don't think the universe is that cruel. The universe will never give you more than you can handle because there's people going through far worse. There's sometimes people who are not going, they're going through better lives than you are, and that's fine. But that's purely based on how the universe sees them and how their karmic energies were, how they
Right.
were, how they are, and how there will be. Now, there's things we just don't see or we don't know or we're not aware of, but maybe there's a higher, maybe the higher being or God or
Right.
whatever
Right.
anyone believes in probably saw it before we did, and they've already provided what's happening around you in different various messages that, as you said earlier, a lot of people well, I'd say ignore because it's there. You know what I mean? People. I mean, I wouldn't say they're too. I mean, yes, they're consumed with their emotion at the moment, but it's also there. Like it's literally there. They're choosing to ignore it. Everything's a choice. We all make a decision. If we want to take the messages, we'll take it. If we don't want to, we won't take it. It's purely a decision. What we say, how we speak, how we behave, what we see,
That's
what we
right.
observe, what we notice, how we think, how we react. It is all a choice. So sometimes, and I think I learned this the hard way, and I'm still learning it, to be very honest. I think obviously you guys are much more experienced than me, and you guys know this better, is take people at face value, right? If they show you a side to them, that is who they are, period.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's
my
nothing
pleasure.
more or less to it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and I think people just need to realize that it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. Why
No.
cry over spilled milk? In fact, I think
I haven't heard
clean
that
that
phrase
milk
in
up,
a long time.
put another glass of it, okay? Put another glass. It's fine.
Right off his milk.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I really like when you touch on the word battery,
Mhm.
you know, because the positive must go hand in hand with the negative, right?
Absolutely.
And when the negative come up, you now have to, again, you now have to look to see why is this negative there? Because the negative is there to help you, to ignite you. So that is why it's there. That is why I really like you when you said about the battery. So the negative is going to help you in whatever situation it is. The negative is there to help you as an individual, to ignite you, to put that spark in you, to turn your light on. That is why the negative is there, is to turn your light on. But many times we don't see it that way. Because again, we're so consumed with what is happening at the present moment. Why is this happening to me? This person is bad. And so many things start to escalate in that present moment. But again, once you're self-aware, you can pull yourself together, say, hey, you know what? Let me extract what I need to extract from this situation for my benefit.
Right.
And it's okay to be selfish in that moment. I really think
course.
it is. You
Of
know,
course.
because why not?
Absolutely.
That is
Right?
why we no, go ahead, Bilal.
No, sorry, go on.
No, that's why we wrote the book Self-Care is Intentional.
Yeah.
Because that is why it's so essential for you to take the time, and as this discussion we're talking about, take the time for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you cannot serve from an empty cup.
No.
You're doing a disservice to yourself,
Yes.
and you're doing a disservice to the person that you're serving.
I mean, you can fill the cup though.
Yeah.
But you can't serve it until it's filled.
No, you
Exactly.
cannot. You cannot. That is why our program, Tea Talk and Transformation Ecosystem.
I love how you guys say it together. It is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because you're building a new ecosystem, right? It just the act of thinking about you sitting back, relax.
Yeah.
Your sensory nerve or your sensory, you're sipping a cup of tea, whether it's hot or cold, whatever your choice, whatever season it is, right? And you're quieting your mind down, you're relaxing your shoulder, and you're sipping, you're letting your vagus nerves reset, right?
Yeah.
And you tuning out cortisol, and you letting dopamine and oxytocin and all the good stuff, because you're focusing on yourself, right? You're drowning out the noise of outside, and it's just you in that moment. And you're having a good chat with us, and you're experiencing healing, I would say.
Yeah.
And you're talking, and you're just having a good conversation,
Correct.
because what happened in that moment it matters to you, because everything else you leave on the outside.
Exactly.
Because you're coming into a new space that is facilitating you,
Right.
noticing you, seeing you, you've been heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is where the transformation, because when you sip that cup of tea, right, in that moment, whether hot or cold, as I expressed, after that moment, when you leave that space, when you go to your home, because it's lasting, remember, transformation is taking place. Every time you sip a cup of tea, it will never be the same, because you've reset your nervous system.
Yes.
And that would be the tool for you to reset every time, because you've already been in a space that you were able to draw the level of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your
Mhm.
favorite teacup, right,
Mhm.
that you use when you come into our
Tea talk
tea
and
talk and transmission
transformation.
ecosystem.
Mhm.
So you know you automatically, you when you're going through something at that moment, you said it's time for my cup of tea, whether hot or cold for you,
Mm,
Yes.
and you're sipping your cup of tea because you're taking the time to pause. You're working in your mind what you're going through in the moment, and you're sipping,
yeah.
and your sensory, and you reflect on the conversation,
Mhm.
everything you learn in that space,
Yes.
all the tools that you gathered in that space when you sit with us.
Yes.
And so the transformation there, because now you're being equipped and know that, okay, this is not I mean, I may feel heavy in the moment, I may be feel overwhelmed in the moment,
Mhm.
but let me use a tool with your teacup, sipping your cup of tea, you're relaxing, you're pausing, and you're thinking, because at that time you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing in you. And that is what that's
Yeah.
just a little glimpse of what you
Yeah.
experience
And you
in
know,
tea
and
talk
Talk
that's
and
and
just so
transformation
transformation.
interesting.
Yeah.
Love it.
ecosystem.
Love how you guys say it together. But you know how you mentioned earlier about the battery. Now, how you said you need the negative and the positive. So imagine if a battery only had two negatives. Might not work. It probably not
Right,
won't work.
right. No,
And if
it
you have
wouldn't
two
work.
positives, it's still not going to work. So
Nope.
maybe too much of positivity, it may not also, it might bring delusions, but then
Mhm.
too much negativity would completely destroy everything. So
Mhm.
there's a
Balance.
good balance. And for this, I've noticed is the movie Wicked. I've realized in terms of reference wise was that,
Mhm.
you know, you always need evil for good to happen, or you always need bad for
Yes.
good to
Yes.
be discovered. If
Yes.
everything's always bad, well, obviously that's bad, but if
Mhm.
everything's always too good, your learning and your growth stops
Mhm.
because you don't have something to
Yes.
learn from. You don't have an
Absolutely.
experience to
Absolutely.
analyze, decipher, and take out a message.
Mhm.
If there's no
Mhm.
message, there's no knowledge, there's no growth. But if,
Yeah.
because again, if I mean, if we lived in an idealistic world, would we be having these conversations?
That's
Probably
Right,
not.
true.
right, right,
You know what I
That's
right.
mean?
true.
We'd just be like, everything's zen, right? We wouldn't
Mhm.
have a reason to look towards mental health or to
Yes.
Mhm.
transformation because
Mhm.
everything just existed.
Mhm.
And if everything was crazy bad too, we probably still wouldn't have these conversations
So
because
true.
at that point we would have just given up because
Yeah.
everything is just bad.
So true.
So knowing that the bad exists to be able to let the good shine is very, very crucial that a lot of people don't understand. Because a lot of people
Yeah.
question that. They're like, oh, but there's still bad things in the world. And well, yeah, because you need to learn from it, not become it. If you allow
Well,
it, you know what I mean? If you allow to be engulfed by the bad, then you've instead of healing, you've gone completely back to caveman time where, you know, it's just Neanderthals running around with dinosaurs. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That's not where you want to go. You want to go
no.
towards the future. But even the future, if you go way too further ahead too,
Mhm.
it may not be what you want either. You just don't
Mhm.
know. So it's
Yes.
always too good
Yes.
to live in the right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the way you just said, explained so nicely that, you know, it's all about the transformation and about the teacup and how that teacup in that moment makes you realize that you're grounded, that you have a
Yes.
positive sense of your surrounding and that safe space. That's in the
Mhm.
moment. That's not in the future. It's not in the past. That's the right now. You
Mhm.
learned from the past. You've done it before, and now you're recreating that same experience now, and you will continue to probably at some point in the
Mhm.
future, right?
Mhm.
So I think when we start living in the right now, when we do crazy
Mhm.
things, when we decide in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. if there's a swimming pool open that, you know what, I just want to go for a dip, go crazy. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody
Mhm.
stopping you. So
Right.
it, I
Yeah.
mean, well, maybe other than the fact that the parks and swimming pools might be closed, but that's
Yeah.
irrespective. The point is, like, you know, just I think sometimes people need to let their intuitions come out. When we
True.
allow our
True.
body to just go with the
So true.
flow,
So
it
true.
could work. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work
True.
in your favor? Cool. You had a bad flight? Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Well, now you know not to take that airline. Or now
Exactly.
you know, you know what I mean? Or now you know that you don't want to go to this place, you want to try another city.
Mhm.
But you're only going to know if you try.
Mhm.
And that same thing applies for
Absolutely.
healing. Before people are
Yes.
scared to try to heal, just try. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, there's
Yeah.
only positives really, but the worst that can happen is it doesn't work now, doesn't work in a month, maybe doesn't work in 6 months, maybe even a
Right,
year if you
right,
keep trying.
right, right,
But the
right.
moment you give up is when everything's going to
Mhm,
go. That 1 year or 6 months or
mhm,
1 month of hard work of you looking into your inner side,
mhm.
it resets all the way back to square one. So what was the point? So I think the only thing I would say to people is like, if you've already started, just keep at it. Like it was like for me going to
Good.
the gym, like I was just like, why is this not working? I'm having all the supplements. I'm still small. What's going on? But then the good trigger was when someone told me, no, you gotta still stick to it. You'll see it, you'll see it, you'll see it. And then I started to notice results after a long time. But it takes time. Okay, sometimes again, us Sagittarians, we be quick, but a lot of people may not be. You know what I mean? We might be like, yeah, we've changed
Mhm,
overnight. But some
mhm,
people take forever, and that's okay. As
mhm,
long as you know that you're in the right. It's about as you guys, I think you guys mentioned earlier about intention. If as long
yeah,
as the intention is clear, as long as you know, I want to be a better person for my surrounding, I want to be a better person for humanity. I want to be a better person, most importantly for me, to be
mhm.
able to breathe in peace and to be able to sit at home and not have to worry. I mean, bills will keep popping left, right, center, friend. That's just how the world has become. But as long as no, there's one actually, you know what? There's one particular thing that again, it might be a controversial statement to make, but I truly do believe in it. And a lot of people may not agree. Is if you have money coming in, spend that money to allow more space for more wealth to come in.
Mhm,
If you keep it in your hand and you're just going to keep saving it on the side, you're telling the universe, I'm happy with what I got and I'm going to stick
mhm,
to it. The universe is going to be like, you know what? I don't think you need more. I'm going to go somewhere else.
mhm,
So in the moment you allow it, you're
mhm,
like, okay, it's gone. I need more. I got it. It's going to keep coming.
mhm,
It's going to keep coming.
mhm,
And people don't
mhm,
realize that. I don't know. It could be, again, maybe I'm coming from a privileged point of view, right? Maybe. But
mhm, mhm.
then again, it's worth a try. I think generosity can never be, um,
I'm
Yes,
glad you touched on that.
underrated. Yeah. You know what I mean, right?
generosity.
It
Yes.
doesn't have to be money wise. It could just be energy wise. If you're generous with your energy, but you're able to contain it when required, then you're good. Like again, some people are too generous. Again, the positive negative aspect. If you're too much of everything, it's gonna
Right.
be crazy. Unless it's too much of love, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't become like an obsession, then you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
honestly think is fine. If you're obsessed with your partner,
Yes.
go crazy. You should be obsessed
Mhm,
with your partner. Why not? But then again, like yeah, so with money as well, if you're generous at the point where you go out, you're like, hey, my treat today. Next time somebody says, hey, it's my treat, but if it's someone who's constantly just there, just be like expecting you to be the one to do it every
Mhm.
no,
time,
It's a
no, no, no,
difference.
that's
no, no, no.
that's like that one singer who sang that song Scrub. Scrub ain't gonna get no love from me.
Yes.
That is how it's gonna be. But like then again, but then again, it's just I guess some people just expect it. There's always a sense of
Mhm.
entitlement.
Entitlement. Yeah.
Until
Yes.
that entitlement doesn't tear down, self-healing can never
Never,
happen. You can
never
never
happen.
heal with a
Never
sense of
happen.
entitlement. You can never,
No.
and entitlement doesn't have to mean, oh, I'm wealthy, like, oh, it's sometimes entitlement just means expecting it to just be done for you. Because the
Yes.
world doesn't owe any of us anything. The
Right.
moment
Right.
we realize that is when
Mhm,
we're going to be like, okay, we shouldn't be expecting anyone to do anything. We shouldn't be expecting the
mhm,
world to put things in
mhm,
our favor.
mhm.
We need to make it in our favor. And the only way to do that is by allowing the universe to bring ways to you while you let go of what's not for you. A lot of people are hoggers. People hog on to newspapers or all kinds of things, right? I loved hogging onto Archie comics when I was a kid, but I didn't realize until I started letting go of my comics that I was able to read more books. To be very
Yeah.
fair, because I kept reading the same books
Yeah.
again and again. But and the same goes for money, same goes for a lot of different things in
Mhm,
life. Each
mhm,
is different, right? Each is different.
mhm.
Maybe it is I don't know, maybe it's a particular hairstyle. Maybe it could
Yeah.
be a color. Maybe it could be your clothes. Sometimes when you let go of old clothes, you give them to charity, and you open space in your wardrobe for more clothes,
Yeah,
you're
So
gonna
true.
change.
yes.
You know what
We're
I
big,
mean?
we're big believers in that.
Big believers in that.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me
Mhm.
more about that. I'm very curious. I want to know. I want to know
You
your
go. You
experience with
go.
this.
No, we call it the clearing out,
Okay.
right? Because if you have clothes that you've been wearing for a long time and you need to change up your wardrobe and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or clothes that you're not attracted to that anymore because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, as I think we all can relate to that, there's some clothes that you just
Mm-hmm.
love and you just wear all the time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
when you decide to make a change and shift your wardrobe, and there's certain clothes that you were excited, there was so much emotion when you bought it, but then for some reason, because your life shift, your career shift, and
Mhm.
something, you're not drawn to that anymore.
Evolution.
So,
I think
right.
change
So
is just very important.
right.
Mhm.
So what we normally do, we just donate it.
Mhm.
We
Mm-hmm.
donate it. We just because it's not serving us anymore. It's not giving us that pull or that
No,
draw
no,
There's a
no.
lot of
to
people out
pleasure.
there holding on to Lady K and Lady J energy, is it?
That's
That's a
I mean,
good
think
one.
about it. You leave
that's
your
the one.
energy on clothes, and clothes carry that
That's
energy.
true.
So
That's
I'm
true.
sure
Yes,
there's
That's
a
true.
lot of
that's
That's true.
true.
people, taking on your energies. I think that's lovely.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
and we never thought about it that way.
We never thought
Yeah,
about it that way. So
that's so true what
that's
you're
true
Is it?
saying
because
there.
remember you wore
Yeah.
it. You wore
But
it.
yeah.
So they're embodying
Mm-hmm.
that too as well.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
good way how you put it on,
Yeah. Never
Bilal.
thought
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Yeah. That's so so true. You know,
Thank you.
we gotta feel it. We gotta understand it. Then we're gonna be able to transform it.
Oh, that was good.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we are going through life. We are on this planet. We came here for a reason.
Right.
It's
Correct.
to elevate our level of consciousness.
That's
Yeah.
deep.
And I'm going deep. And in order for us to raise our level to the higher consciousness, we don't just arrive there.
True.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process to reach to that higher level of consciousness.
Yeah.
And in order for us to reach to that level of consciousness, it takes a lot of inner work
True.
Yeah.
for us to reach to that level of consciousness. You
Absolutely.
can understand when you just come in, you're a little child, you're growing up, and a lot of things like generational conditioning, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we walk that path, we all walk that path. But
Right.
then when you come now to an adult in your life, you should be able now to do the separation.
Correct.
You should be able now to say, you know what, this is not working for me, but this is working for me. So
Yes.
we come to this space now because remember, every day it's a work in progress. We are a work in progress every single day. Every day we are becoming.
Yeah.
And every day
Absolutely.
we are raising our level of consciousness. So that is how we able to understand and to process things in our lives. Because when you raise your level of consciousness, you become more
Mm-hmm.
self-aware of what is happening at this present moment.
Yeah. You take a
And you
step back.
understand exactly, and you
Yeah.
understand it's happening for my elevation.
Correct. Amazing.
That's it.
In fact, you know what? You guys really do inspire me. And I really do want to know more about your expansion. And because you guys have also inspired me to do so. I recently got into helping people train them for aura building on camera. So a lot of people are camera shy. A lot of people don't know how to be on camera, what to do, what not, how to memorize the lines or how to read the teleprompter, and how people, because people want to be on screen a lot, but they don't know how to behave per se on camera, like how people are scared of what they're going to say. So I started like an aura building on camera thing,
That's
which it would be great for you
beautiful.
guys to be a part of too. But also what
Wow.
I'm
Thank
super excited,
you.
of course, and what I'm super excited about is how you guys are moving internationally. You guys want to talk a little bit about that? Because I I want to know. I think everybody wants to know because the
Oh
thing is,
my goodness,
America has
Bilal.
witnessed the miracles of Lady K and Lady J. I think it's time Asia does too. You
Thank you,
guys have any
Bilal.
plans to come to Asia? Do you guys have any ways to expand further into Asia?
Absolutely, yes.
We're looking into
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. You know, it brings us back. We always say this on each podcast or majority of the podcasts that we do. You know, every day when we finish our meditation,
Mm-hmm.
we always ask, how can we be of service to humanity? Right? And we
Yeah.
always end, provide us with all the necessary tools so that
Yeah.
we can be of service to humanity. We all,
Love
every day we end with
Mhm.
that, you know, and we have discovered over the years that all the necessary tools is always being provided to John and I, all the necessary tools. We don't have to look for these tools. These tools just show up
because you
for
allow
us
it.
because you're asking for it.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Bilal.
And we now worry which angle it's coming
Right,
from,
right.
who is going to bring it. We don't, that's none of our concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely none of our concern. But again, it's your internal, what is going to mirror the external.
Because the energy you're putting out there, right? The
Right.
aura you're building
Absolutely.
attracts the
Right.
universe to bring
Right.
it to you.
Right.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and I think you want to Bilal, thank you for
Yes.
saying that. I think you want to talk to somebody who might be there, maybe listening, and they say, I don't see anything happening to me. I start this book.
Wrong approach.
I don't know what to write, or I want to start a podcast, or I want to do something, or I want to start my coaching program, or whatever it is. Speak to both of you. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Speak to the people who are start, stop. I think you spoke about it a little bit, Bala, to continue. But
Yeah.
I think the mindset is so important that
Yeah.
you got a burden in your heart, you got a dream, you were
Mhm.
downloaded with certain things, right? And
Mhm.
you might be saying you're not seeing, but you got to shift your mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to pull in your affirmation is important
Mhm.
if you're a person who believe in affirmation, or your mantra or your self-talk is important.
Mhm.
Because when you put your I ams, which we always talk about,
Mhm.
your I ams, your strong self-talk, you believe in yourself and said, I'm going to get this done. And I like when you spoke about, you don't have to think about how it's going to be done.
No, that's none of your
You're
concern.
constantly reaffirming yourself, right? You're reaffirming yourself. You stay grounded with that. You're not letting up on it because you feel that burning desire. You feel you are impregnated with that gift. And you want to bring that gift, and only you can deliver it the way it should be to the world, right?
Absolutely. And another thing before Bala comes in here, when we are doing something, we got to embody that energy.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you say you're going to write a book, embody that energy of, get the feel of writing that book, get the feel of publishing that book, go into that space of feeling it, see it from the end.
Right.
And see it from the end.
That's for sure.
Embody that energy, because when you embody that energy, you are only helping it to manifest faster in your life. You got to embody that energy. You got to see yourself, and to start, for instance, like when we started this podcast, we didn't know where this podcast was going. We had absolutely no idea. But myself, Joan, and Tom, we came together and we said, you know what? Let's start something, because the world, and Tom is the one that said the world needs to hear Joan and I more.
Yes.
And we decided we got the name, we bought the name Soul, Light, and Body, and we just started a podcast. It was not perfect. Nothing is perfect.
No.
We start with what we had. We just start right there. And then a radio station, 246 Bajan Vibes family, they gave us the opportunity now. They saw us, saw what we're doing. They gave us Sugar D, saw us,
Thanks to Sugar D.
and he said, you know what?
DJ AC as
These
well.
girls are good. So you know what? Why not give them a space on 246 Bajan Vibes? And that is how we are broadcasting live out from London on enrichment of mind, body, and soul. That is how it all happened.
Yeah.
You know, we just made the start. That is why you don't think about how it's gonna happen.
Make the start.
Whatever you have in your heart to birth, we are encouraging you today. Just do it. It don't have to be perfect. And people will look at it. Some people may condemn it. Don't worry. You keep going. Just keep going. Because you know it in your heart, you're doing it, and you know it's going to get the right attention that it needs. Just keep going.
Yeah, 100%. And you know how you said embody it?
Right.
You want to do a podcast? Do it. You want to do something?
Right.
Do it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't work out.
Right.
It's okay.
Exactly.
Move on to the next thing. It's fine, right? And so,
Therefore,
in fact,
that's
you know
not
what?
for you.
Yeah, and you know how you mentioned embody, right? So I was in fact telling my younger sister the other day, and she wanted to go see a couple of her friends, and you know, so they've had their issues and dramas, and I told her, listen, if someone tries to bring you down, the only thing you need to do is when you walk in that room, you have to really feel like you own that room. You walk in there, and you know that, you know what, I'm gonna have my chest out. I'm gonna walk in, and I'm gonna know that I got this. You know what I mean? When you tell yourself you got it,
totally agree with you.
You know what I mean? Because
you give her good tips.
you just gotta own the space. You know what I mean? People don't like you, own it. I think acceptance is very important. When you accept it on who, and as you said, embody. When you know who you want to be. Like, for example, there was a classmate of mine back in university. I've never seen her in the past 10, 11 years without 6-inch heels or 4-inch or heels every day. University heels, out in heels, at public space heels. I've never, ever in 11 years seen her not wear heels. And she's already tall. She started with me in uni. She moved to Dubai when she got married. Didn't know what she wanted to do, where she wanted to go, started doing psychology after journalism. And now, after all these years, she's an editor-in-chief for Harper's Bazaar, Arabia. And so I'm like, whoa. And because she dressed the part. She always wore heels. She always dressed well. She always knew that I want to be there. I don't know how, but I'm going to dress it. I'm going to feel it. And she did it after 11 years. Being an editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar is crazy. So, you know what I mean? It's insane. Once you know that that's what you want to do, it will happen. Maybe not 10 years. Maybe not 15 years. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it could be in a year. You just don't know. You just don't know. So I like how you guys say that.
You know, not to cut you, Bilal, you see, it's the amount of work that you put in as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to work on
the amount of work, right?
You have to work on your craft.
The amount of work that you put into what you're looking for in your life, that is how fast you're going to pull it to yourself. The work that you put in, you gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the work.
Because I think when you put the work in, the universe is gonna match it. Bring the right kind of people. The opportunities open up for you. And that's how. But you got to do some work in your part too, right?
100%.
Bilal, oh my goodness, this is such a good
This was wonderful.
This was so good. And yes, we're looking forward to go to that part now.
We look for.
I'm excited.
And the invitation of
all of you guys, like also people that are watching, must know that there will be a time you're going to see them overseas, and you're going to be surprised when and how it happened. And y'all just gonna be like, y'all gonna wake up one day and be like, what? They're in a whole different continent. When did that happen? And it is gonna happen.
Yes, it's gonna happen, Bilal. It's gonna happen. Yes, it's gonna happen.
Put it out to the universe.
Yes, it's gonna happen.
Thank you guys so much, though, for having me on and inviting me here.
Thank you, Bilal.
We love
feeling
you too.
that I was important enough to be on a podcast like yours.
Of course,
so
of course, you are. I mean, from the time our meeting occurred years ago.
Yeah.
And you always, just as much as you say that we have inspired you, you've inspired us. You know, you taught us so much on this journey, you know, and you help us throughout.
Yep.
And you continue to, and you build such a solid relationship together.
Yes.
Relationship or friendship, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But it is so powerful because when you said in your speaking that friends show up when they need,
Yeah.
they don't hear from you, they check in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the things that solidifies friendship. Those are the
Correct.
things that solidifies
Yes.
relationship, because you matter.
Yeah.
You matter.
Yes.
And when we're speaking to our viewers too as well, our listeners, look at the people in your lives and see that people who matter to you. If you don't hear from them for a little while, check in on them. Send them a
Yeah.
text message. Send them an email, and remind them that how important they are to you.
Yeah.
Write those gratitude notes and say, you're important to me. You matter to me. I'm grateful that you're part of my life. Thank them for the things that just not even think, but thank you for just for being in your presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what you mentioned. Just thank you. And those are the beautiful things that I think, because we had a topic we spoke on, spiritual restaurant and spiritual integrity, right? And that is how we nourish other people's soul, by
Yes.
giving back, by saying thanks, by letting them know that what
Yeah.
you matter. Thank you for
Absolutely.
showing up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so
And it's very
important,
easy.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. It's and
This
you,
is not
as
the
you're right.
thing.
True, true,
Yeah.
true. As you rightfully touched on gratitude too, because gratitude, once you can embody that energy of gratitude, it shifts everything.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
energy shifts everything in your life. When you could be grateful for the people that you have around you, and not just any kind of people who bring that energy, that
Right.
level of energy into your life. When you
Yeah.
can recognize that and understand that don't really come, that show up just like that. It comes for a reason in
Yes.
your life, and as we about to end this podcast, just know that whatever experience that you're going through right now, it may feel like the furnace, you may be feeling the heat, but just know that the heat is transforming you into something else. And we all need that heat for our transformation. We all need that heat. So embrace the heat, embrace it. And if you can't do it alone, reach out and get the right kind of help that you need.
I mean,
Because
that's why
many
we call
times,
good-looking people hot, right? Because it's
yeah,
hot.
that's a good one, Bala.
Sorry, I had to say that.
That's a good one.
Right.
Yeah, reach out and get the right kind of help that you need for whatever situation or experience you're going through at this point in time. This situation and experience is not here to break you. It's here to mold you into the person you are becoming.
Right. That's beautiful.
It's not here to break you. It's not going to melt you. It's here to mold you into the individual that you are becoming. But your internal state, your
It's a hot
landscape.
person everybody's meant to be. I'm just saying, I think everybody can be good looking. Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Evolution is happening,
Right. It is happening. And I just want to just add another layer on that. When you're going through the fire and this transformation takes place, that is what is moving you to your next.
Absolutely. It's moving you to something else, and something that's bigger, not the same state. You're moving to something bigger, and you're going to shine like a diamond.
You're stepping higher.
Yeah.
You're stepping
That's
higher.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the alchemy.
That's exactly how it is.
Alchemic mind.
That's the alchemy happening right there for you. So we just want to let you know that your situation, when you leave this space here this evening, look at your situation with a different eye. See it as a process that you're going through in order to go to your next phase of your life. And another thing, before, many times we're asking for things in our lives, but not realizing that asking comes with something. You don't just ask for something. You got to go through something to get it.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful what we're asking for, because when you're asking for something, you got to go through something to get it. So you got to be careful what you're asking for as well, because you got to make sure you build yourself up now for what you're asking for. Because in order to go to the next, that period between, that's the furnace.
Right. I want to add another layer in there. I know we're adding a lot of layers. I think also is readiness and preparation.
Yes.
Because readiness and preparation is when the opportunity arises, you got to able to be ready and prepared to match the moment.
Yeah. So true. Yeah, you got to be ready and prepared. So Bilal, we just want to thank you once again for taking the time. What time is it there?
Right now, because I'm visiting my family in Saudi Arabia, it's about 4:11 a.m.
Oh my God. That's early in the morning.
It is early in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Thank you for staying up and having this beautiful conversation with us.
I mean, again, Sagittarians, I mean, we be energetic no matter what time of the day or night it is. I swear to God, this energy ain't going nowhere. One best thing about inner healing and this like inner child thing is energy never runs out.
Yeah,
it
so
never
true.
runs out. It's sometimes
So
it's too much
true.
for even me to handle. And I'm just like,
So true.
why am I energetic? but yeah, I really do want to thank you guys though for having me here. I really do want to also, if I may, give a shout out to Ken also for helping trigger. So Ken really did trigger a lot of good things and stuff and motivation in my life as well. And I want to thank a few people, but mostly I want to thank you two for years ago, being before anyone else having good trigger, that you guys ignited, as you said, the fire to be able to build whatever it is that my brain has now grown into, crossing 30s and reaching mid 30s, how I will never be the same way that I was before, in a good way. I promise. In a way where now I can see things from a very different lens, or multiple lenses, actually. It's no longer just about, okay, I see it, I got it, move on. But it's more like, okay, I see it, I can question it, quickly analyze it, and understand where I belong in the situation, how to detach, how to be there, and how to just understand what's going on without having to struggle, sleepless nights, constant overanalyzing, overthinking. I stopped completely every single thing. So thanks to the two of you guys for sure. That's been a massive, massive part of my life. And I think everyone should be able to, you guys are very approachable. People should just reach out, send them a text, send Lady K and Lady J an email, just DM them. I promise they reply. Sometimes they reply instantly, which is amazing because they genuinely want to help humanity. And it's not about the money. It's not about, it's primarily to be able to help spread good karma, essentially. And I think there's nothing better than getting good karma. Everything else just follows. So thanks to the two of you for having me on your show and, realizing that there's more to life than just what we see. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you for saying those kind words, and you're part of our journey.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Yes, you're part of our journey, and it's a privilege and an honor.
I was just going to say honor too.
Yeah, it's a privilege and an honor to be of service to you.
Thank you.
It's a privilege and honor to be of service to you, And
can't wait to see you guys in Asia.
Soon. Very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Thank you for the invitation. And
of course.
Life is evolving.
Yeah.
And we need to just relax and allow evolution to take place.
Right.
Have your journal the way how you're feeling, because many times when we look back at our journals, it's like, wow, pay attention to your dreams, because many times we get visions in our dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to people who are showing up in front of you on a daily basis. They may have a message. It may come over as negative, but it's a message for you. If you're seeing that you're getting triggered, go within, see why you're getting triggered. There is a reason why you're being triggered. It's a part of you that still needs some healing. Sometimes we think we heal things and then suddenly we trigger. The same thing trigger us again, you know. So we need to look at all of these things in our lives, because when we are going through the fire, is to let you know that you're going to come out on the other side something very precious
And hot.
and something right.
Sorry, it's true.
I know, right? And sometimes you ask yourself, did I went through that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you come through, you said, did I went through? Did I really have the capacity for that? You did. You went through that. You know, it was just molding you for what you are right now. You know, so just look at yourself, do your emotional inventory so you can able to regularize yourself. Also, transmute your energy. Look at all the negative things in your life and pull out all the positive that you could pull out from those situations, right? And when you're looking at yourself, look at yourself with no judgment at all, because we tend to judge ourselves, be so hard on ourselves, and we really don't need to do that. Don't be hard on yourself. You're all in a learning process, in a learning phase in your lives. Maybe you're in a space that is something new to you right now and you don't understand. There is where you ask the universe to give you the clarity for what is happening at this moment. Give me clarity of what is happening at this moment, because I don't understand. And it's okay to ask. I don't understand what's happening right now. It's okay to ask, and you will get the clarity that you need. So we just want to thank you so much, Bilal. It's so amazing to see you. You look well. Thank you.
You guys
Thank
do
you for
too.
being here. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Congratulations on all your
great success in your life.
You constantly keep
Same to you
evolving.
guys.
Yes.
You constantly with your we call it seismic shift
Yeah.
and everything. And you said you're doing audio. What you said you were doing?
It was so like aura for on camera like training. So to
training
train
on camera, training people on camera training. Yes.
Yeah, the way you guys are. You guys are natural.
We didn't just get here.
Sure.
It was a work in progress to build that confidence, you know? Yeah, to build up that confidence. Yeah. But we are here.
Right, we are here.
True.
Yeah,
That
we're
is true.
here.
Wow.
So thanks to the audience as well for showing up always and being a part of this conversation with us. We want to thank you for your beautiful comments, and those who's going to watch it on the replay, just leave your comment. We will get it. We're going to answer you, you know, because some people want to be personal. You could DM us.
Yeah.
We mightn't get it right away, but we will answer you because you know what? We all are becoming.
Right.
We all are going through a phase of transformation, and it's okay not to understand the process, but we are here to explain it the best we can to help you to understand, you know what, this is what is happening to you at the moment. So thank you once again for being a part of this podcast, and don't forget to join us and subscribe on Soul Light and Body on YouTube channel. Just share us out, because we are here to spread the word.
Right. And don't forget, DM us the word Bloom if you're looking to join the coaching session, Tea Talk and Transformation ecosystem. Come and join us and have the experience.
Absolutely. It's a great experience for sure.
You will never look at your teacup the same way.
Right. All the feedbacks that we are getting from people is just great. It's just great.
Right.
Bilal, thank you
All
once
right,
again. Thank you so much. See you soon.
See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.